Hey YouTube, what's up? It's JT Sasuke. I'm here to bring you my review for the Vampire Diaries. Jumping right into this one, we got three storylines. I'm going to cover Stefan's first. So basically start out, Stefan and Elena are talking. Elena wants him to go to the party. He doesn't go until he hears that Enzo and they pick up the guy. They go to the party. Elena jumps in and Elena basically strips down to her bathing suit, rope dives into the pool, not the pool, rope dives into the lake, and then Stefan leaves. We later see Stefan with a pump shotgun full loaded with stakes. He tries to kill Enzo, it doesn't work. Enzo actually ends up catching one of them, throwing it at Stefan. Stefan ducks out the way, and it kills the guy behind them. This guy later finds out to be, we later find out is a vampire hunter. Later on, Enzo ends up actually calling Caroline. Caroline comes, stops Stefan from killing him. She asks him why Stefan's trying to do this. He says, ask Enzo. He walks away. Caroline turns around to Enzo, says what did he do. Enzo takes a deep breath as he begins to explain, but we don't see that. Moving forward, we have Enzo coming back to a diner that he was, I believe he was at that diner before when he was munching on some waitress. And a guy is sitting next to him. This guy is one of the, part of the original founding family for Mystic Falls. And the guy is sitting there and he's just like, oh, you should really, be more careful when you're munching on waitresses. Stabs him with a needle Ravane, injects it into him. That's when we find out that Enzo is different from other vampires because he can fight the Ravane. And he almost kills him, but Stefan comes in with a pump shotgun and shoots him. He's about to finish off Enzo, but the guy says, no, I like to kill them my own special way. And that's when Stefan says, basically, make sure it's painful, and he leaves. Moving on to Damon and Bonnie. Long story short, they basically found out that they were not alone. They're in a grocery store. They're arguing about the fact that if they're alone or not. They hear a carousel come on, so they go outside, and they see that it is on, and Damon basically comes to the conclusion that the thing is faulty. Then they spot Damon's car. Damon realizes that someone must have placed it there, so he starts to believe that someone's there. They see something in the distance. It's just a tarp. Damon loses hope. Bonnie argues with him, walks away. Damon goes back into the grocery store, finds someone sitting there as he's picking up a bottle of bourbon, tells the person to answer a question. The person doesn't answer a question. The person turns out to be somebody named Kai. And he tries to kill Kai. Kai starts answering questions. Damon takes a drink of one of the bottles of bourbon. There's Ravane in it. Mini fight goes on where Damon tries to kill him, but he breaks off a mop head, slashes a bunch of bourbon bottles, and all the bourbon flashes on Damon. Each bottle is Ravane because he didn't know what bottle he was going to take, so he just Ravaned them all. Bonnie comes back and he claims that Bonnie is useless, and that's when Bonnie gets her powers back with the right motivation of wanting to save Damon's life. She actually goes into killer mode, and I'm just like, let Bonnie go to the originals and show Davina what true power is. But anyways, so basically after that, he basically says that basically to take him back to the house, and he's just basically saying that he wanted to help her get her powers back, and her powers are the only way to get them out of there. He really wasn't going to kill Damon Salvatore because he is 1/3 of their population, literally, and he's not that big of a monster. So, moving on to Caroline's story. Caroline's throwing a party with Elena. Caroline goes there, and she's basically in a terrible mood. Now, we do have Elena, who is actually sees that Jeremy hooked up with the girl that she basically tried to kill. And Caroline compelled her to, leave. Not leave, but Caroline compelled her to forget what happened, so it's all good. She doesn't remember anything, but Elena didn't want him to risk it. Anyways, Caroline's there. She's having a bad day, and that's when she ends up getting, eventually she ends up getting called in to the woods by Elena later on, and Elena is basically saying that she wants jello shots with her old friends. Tyler and Matt turned that down, and her and Caroline have Jello shots together. All of a sudden, Caroline kind of starts being rude to Elena, and she leaves. Ends up getting called by Enzo. She comes, stops Stefan, talks to Enzo, and then later on, she ends up talking to Stefan. She ends up seeing Stefan. She ends up talking to him, and she's basically saying that she basically just confessed her love to him in a way, saying that if there was any little part of him that came back to see her, then stay. It didn't. He walked away. She ended up talking to Elena later on, and Elena was like, "Hey, do you have feelings for Stefan?" And she was like, "Yeah, I think I did," which means that she's done with him. Anyways, in the meantime, they have a huge problem. What's his face? Jeremy's date left and went back to Mystic Falls for ice or whatever, so she may potentially get her memory back, and we will deal with that in the next episode. I'm sorry if I forgot anything. My connection sucks, so I'm gonna disconnect soon. But thank you for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe. See you guys next time.